Hello. So, I've been playing 10,000 Bullets. Shinkiro, the OG homie who's always down in the comments, suggested that I check this game out, and I finally got around to it. Dude, okay, firstly, you said that doing some research on this game will at the very least help me discover other obscure gems like this one, like it did for you, and you were absolutely correct because it opened up to the world that I have neglected, and that's Japanese imported PS2 games that only came out in Europe. And secondly, this game is surprisingly not terrible. Okay, honestly, from a distance, when I first started checking out this game, it looked extra rough. Despite my unyielding love for shitty PS2 games, there have been many that I've tried and put back on the shelf to never be played again. Not necessarily given up on, mind you. I don't give up on shitty PS2 games. I believe that every PS2 game has the capacity to be fun, or at the very least, a nice nostalgic time capsule of bad game mechanics that have thankfully been forgotten by time. 10K Bullets just looked like it would be a game that I would have a hard time actually finishing. But when I eventually booted up the game and I saw this first cutscene, I was fucking in. Yeah! That reeks of that 2000s over-the-top black leather duster shoot 'em up action shit. It's comically typical for that time. It's high energy, it's totally ridiculous. I'm in. I'm here to stay. So who made this game? It was developed by the guy behind Suikoden, and that's Suikoden, not Suikoden, you fucking chuds. Try to tell me it's pronounced Suikoden, and watch me not believe you, unless of course you speak Japanese, in which case I will apologize. I really do get the impression that this was like a bit of a passion project for Yoshitaka Murayama and his friends. I mean, there's some serious talent that worked on this too besides just Murayama. Yoshinori Mitsuda helped compose the music for the game, and he's one of the more prolific composers that I know of. He worked on games like Chrono Trigger and of course the Suikoden games. Plus there's somebody called Miki Higashino who plays primarily jazz according to her wiki, and I'm sure that she was the driving force in helping to create this excellent soundtrack. It just goes together really well with these menus that look like I'm reading a menu from like a high-class restaurant. It's not necessarily a vibe that I subjectively enjoy. It's not necessarily to my taste, but I can feel like they were achieving exactly what they were going for, and I can definitely appreciate that. But you know what is to my taste is sometimes the game will play these jazz rap songs that are just certified bops.
Oh no, you better run. This with the whistle's hot and lock this. I wreck a rapper like a car crash, and then his ass got smashed. Now he's 6 feet under grass.
It's interesting to me that the guy who made a big fat RPG series wanted to make a game like 10,000 Bullets. There is this part on the wiki that says that Murayama wanted to make a shoot 'em up even before he started working on Suikoden. He even talks about an old shoot 'em up that he used to play called Metal Black, which also looks sick.
Anyways, all of these factors put together lead me to believe that this game was made with some love. It seems to me like the people who worked on this genuinely cared, and that right there, that's that extra little bit of sauce that makes me care about any game that's otherwise just mediocre.
So before I had actually played this game, when I was just looking at gameplay of it to check it out and see what it was kind of looking like, I noticed that it was a third-person lock-on PS2 shooter, quote unquote. You know, it was one of those types of games that were super common in the 6th generation, GTA being probably the biggest contributor to its popularity at that time. Back then, I didn't mind it much. It was kind of par for the course, but in a post-7th generation shooter renaissance world, it's hard to find this type of system as engaging as I used to. This is the main reason that I thought the game looked not so hot the first time that I checked it out. But once I actually got my hands on it, I realized that they had done something that I had never seen before. They had made the lock-on third-person shooter system actually fun. This is achieved because of one simple addition in the formula, and that's that your bullets are more accurate and do more damage when you successfully time your shots correctly. You see this little green lock-on circle right here? When the circle gets smaller and turns red, that's when you shoot. Doing this very simple exercise in timing on its own is just kind of fun to me. It feels satisfying. Having to actually time your shots correctly during like the whole chaos of combat while you're dodging and weaving in between bullets in slow motion is fun. It's very engaging. I mean, 10K Bullets has done the impossible. They've made this subgenre of shooter fun. This is, without a doubt, the best third-person lock-on shooting system I've ever played. I mean, Devil May Cry has lock-on, right? Technically. Look, if Devil May Cry had a gun that worked exactly like the shooting mechanics in 10,000 Bullets, I'd be fucking hype about it. It would be cool.
Who hired you? The Rodrigo family?
Ha ha ha! You think I could afford to look this good working for them? You are not even worth my time.
So this game's story is this melodramatic soap opera with superpowered vampire gunslingers. It's all wonderfully voice acted by sentient planks of wood.
So you came. Yeah.
And it's built on a foundation of cliches and tropes. It's a completely unoriginal mess, but that unoriginality doesn't seem to me to come from a place devoid of creativity. To me, it feels like the implementation of these character archetypes and cliched story structures are more like homages, tributes to the simplistic stories of over-the-top action films and games that have entertained most of us all from time to time. There's a coziness to these tropes. It's a comfortable feeling.
So, shall we kill each other? Let's do it.
I mean, you've got these two immortal superpower gun guys who are these badass assassins. They have this little love triangle with Homegirl here, and the game goes on and stuff happens. To be honest, I wasn't really paying that much attention. It's not the type of game that really grabs you in that way, especially when most of the story is kind of given to you in these like Snorefest, I'm ready to check my phone now, little text sequences.
I did catch one thing though, and it's this guy here who builds this shooting range that Crow likes to go to. He says he's gonna turn it into a cool playground for the kiddies and a trending dating spot for teenagers.
Yo, what the fuck kind of people is our hero hanging out with? Do the responsible thing and fucking call the cops, dude. And then after that, there are a few more things that happen. There are some conversations. There are some boss fights. But then, oh no. Your partner in crime, the guy from the main cutscene, the dude who's in a love triangle with you, he betrays you. Who could have ever thought that a man named Judas would have betrayed anyone? So fucking Benedict Arnold over here kills Homegirl and tries to kill our main hero. But because this game is one giant cliche, Crow doesn't die and gets dragged off to Japan by some Japanese guy who now has Crow working for him as an assassin, along with one of the other main playable characters, Alice. She's basically the same as Crow, except she has a slower fire rate and less ammo in her magazine in exchange for higher accuracy and more damage. I played for hers most of the game because I actually like her design. She's got a cool jacket. Not to say that Crow's design isn't good. It's perfectly cliched, complete with the Matrix black leather duster and all. It fits this game really well, but Alice just edges him out a little bit for me. The other character that you can play as in the main story is Bruce Lee. I mean, Law from Tekken. I mean, Fei Long from Street Fighter. Damn it, I mean... okay. Well, this isn't helpful. I don't remember there being this many characters in the game. Who the fuck is Will Slaughter? Oh, this is 100 Bullets wiki. This will get to the bottom. We'll get to the bottom of it here. Dragon. His name is fucking Dragon? Go subscribe to Rom HQ. Thanks, dude. Of course his name is Dragon. How could I have forgotten? Anyways, this character is actually the most unique of the cast, as he actually doesn't use any guns. He's a pure martial arts guy, which is a really interesting addition to the combat system that's mechanics are based around shooting. It works basically how you'd expect it to. It's the same thing, except all of his attacks aren't bullets and they're punches and kicks. It feels a little clunky, but it's not too bad. He's a legitimately cool way to mix up the gameplay, as his playstyle is so different. Overall, this game's combat is genuinely competent. At the very least, I like it, and I think a lot of people who like the types of games that I do would enjoy this as well. There's a surprising amount of stuff in here to really sink your teeth into. There are these passive skills, there's different special attacks that can be mapped into certain buttons, and you have different sets of button mappings that you can switch to on the fly. This gives you a lot of options to play around with, like knives, grenades, special attacks that are unique to each character, and you can even jump in midair twice. It's not every day that a game gives you a triple jump, and this is something that I do appreciate from time to time. And I think that the bullet time mechanic is actually pretty fun to use. I don't know, there's just a big part of me that will always think that flipping through the air while dodging bullets is cool. It's just a deeply ingrained part of my taste in aesthetics, I guess. The game's bosses are really engaging, and this game is actually pretty fucking difficult. At least I thought so. There were definitely a couple of parts during the game where I shamefully switched the difficulty down to easy because, you know, I didn't want to play this game all day. But if you're somebody who wants to do that with 10,000 bullets, this game does genuinely give you a lot to chew on. And for somebody like me, I mean, there's more than enough to chew on for an afternoon of over-the-top cheesy gunslinging. As the game draws to its close, the climactic battle between our two rivals is afoot. There are a couple of different endings depending on who you play as and certain missions you do and who you play at the end. I did Alice's at first, and it was very unsatisfying. I didn't do Bruce Lee's ending because I'm lazy and I didn't feel like it, but Crow's ending is the one that we all want to see. I'm on the edge of my seat. What grand battle will take place before us? What secrets will be revealed?
Well, it turns out that Judas didn't actually want to kill Homegirl, and he truly loved her all along.
And despite him going undercover for years to take down the crime family that they both worked for, his feelings for Homegirl were genuine and true.
Crow, before I die, know that Keiko was the only thing I ever truly loved in this world.
How sad. What a Shakespearean tragedy this is. Oh, bravissimo.
There are a couple other pieces of information about the story that you can unlock, but I didn't figure out how to do it because I didn't really feel like it. But let's just say that I did it so that I wouldn't spoil the ending for you guys.
After the game's over, you can unlock characters and a bunch more difficulties, giving this game a solid replay value, aside from its just incentive for becoming better at its systems and getting higher scores on missions and stuff. Though, I will say I didn't actually get to check that stuff out because, allegedly, just between you and me, let's say that I played this game on an emulator and then there's this unskippable credit sequence and the game freezes afterwards and I'm too lazy to figure out how to deal with it, so I gave up. Plus, at that point, honestly, my belly was full. I had had enough of 10,000 bullets. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was short and sweet. That's the way that I love my shitty PS2 games. Dense and short. At the end of the day, this game is just a fun little ride. It's worth it just to goof on its trope-filled story, and it's worth it for its legitimately decent gameplay. This is a quintessential 6th gen, not as bad as it looks, gem. I'm glad I checked it out. Thanks again, Shinkiro, for selling me on it. I had a pretty good time.
Hey, stranger, the name's Joe, but you could call me like...
So, thanks for watching. It's been a while. This has been the longest gap in videos I've had since I started uploading almost 2 years ago. And, okay, a couple of reasons for that. One, I have been unfortunately busy being a wage slave. Plus, I've been skating a shit ton lately, and it's been consuming a lot of my time. But hey, winter's coming up and the skate gods will return to their seasonal slumber, so I won't be able to worship them as often as I do now. So, more videos are coming soon? No, confidently. More videos are coming soon. I'm excited to work on some stuff. Another reason I've been gone for as long as I have is I was working on a pretty big video for Halloween time, and I got really deep into it, and I just kind of thought it sucked. I wasn't saying anything that hadn't already been said a million times about the game that I was talking about, and I just wasn't super happy with it, so I killed it. And I'm glad I did. Honestly, I think I'm at my best when I'm talking about games like 10,000 Bullets. Anyways, thanks. I love you all. You're an insane person for watching all the way to the end. And yeah, thank you for 200 subscribers, guys. I'm truly not worthy. I appreciate it a lot. Alright. See you later. Peace. Oh, wait, I forgot. Like and subscribe. People tell me all the time, you gotta do that. Say like and subscribe because people won't do it unless you say it. So like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Goodbye now. I love you. Goodbye.